right, we're going to begin by lighting a candle. And I'm going to set the intention for clarity of purpose. I got just a little tiny baby one. And I'm putting it on. I've had this little guy, as you can see, all the candle wax all over him for years. I think I was about 19 when I got this. It's quite young. And it's traveled all over the world with me.
Oh. Okay. So I'm lighting my candle with the intention of purification of mind, body, and spirit. Be a clear channel to soar like an eagle.
Beautiful. And so we invite you, if you're listening, to light your candle and set an intention as well. Calling in our angels, our guardians, our guides. As we have a sacred conversation about the goddess, the priestess, and the archetype of the oracle. Yay. And if you've got a little essential oil, you can put a little bit of that on your hands. I always like to begin the ceremony. There's a little bit of that. Get around your aura. Bringing one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly in honor of awakening the goddess, awakening the priestess, and awakening the oracle. Nice big
Love.
Deep breath in. Love and gratitude. Yeah. So the goddess awakening, and as you all will be hearing all about the goddess awakening this week, and I thought I'd bring Malinda Starr on here with me to just kind of talk a little bit more about, the goddess awakening. And you'll see all the different perspectives. Like everyone's got their own feeling about what that means. And that's what makes up this beautiful tapestry of life in all its different colors and all its different facets of what that means. But what I've noticed, being the one that's doing all the interviews and putting it together and editing, is that there is a thread that weaves through it all and connects it all. And so to kind of sum it up for me, is the goddess is, that energy of the creator, the creatress, of the godlike being, but she is the one that gives birth. She is the creatrix of everything. Now, for those of you that were Christian or are still Christian, religious, I was Christian as a teenager.
I was Catholic.
You were Catholic. So do you remember how they said we are all made in God's own image? Well, if we're made in the image of God and we're a female, then of course we're a goddess. And so now people get tripped up about this. Like they go, oh, you're a god, or oh, you're a goddess. But if we are truly made in the image of our creator, creatress, then it makes logical sense that we too are gods and goddesses in training, of course. We're still learning
We're
how to
growing,
be.
expanding, awakening.
And so the goddess is all that is. And we are that microcosm of the macrocosm. And we are awakening to our divinity.
And,
Now,
and
yeah,
have
what
such a beautiful place to be right now.
yeah, do you want to add to what I'm saying, Malinda? I'd love to hear what your thoughts on that are.
On awakening the goddess or
Yeah.
hmm. Well, it's been exciting to awaken the goddess within myself because I never felt that way. For most of us, we never wanted to be seen or heard, you know, hiding behind in the shadows. And it's nice to come out and blossom and show who you are and embrace who you are, because each and every one of us is a goddess. So when you start embracing that and embodying it, and you cannot help but be walking in joy and happiness and in love.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well said. Yeah.
I wasn't sure what
And
I was.
I love that. And so we start to awaken the goddess within and start realizing that we are an expression of divinity itself. We are part of this co-creative journey. And some people do believe that we are all co-creating this reality together. And I believe that. I think it's a beautiful, like we are all gods and goddesses creating this incredible life. And when you start to awaken to the power that is within you and that is you, then you start to come online, and everything starts to light up. And I know that has been my journey. I've been on the goddess path since I was young. I moved into a house full of women, 7 women, and we called it the Goddess Palace. And we created a goddess palace and had goddess circles every month, and it was a very empowering time for me. And I think I was around 20 years old. Um, it's been a while, so I'm not sure the exact age, but it was an incredible journey of really stepping into my power and claiming myself as a goddess. And so, I've been on this goddess path for a long time, almost 50 now. And I want to just clarify the distinction between the goddess and the priestess. So, the priestess is the one who knows that she's a goddess. And I think I'm just going to bring this microphone up a little bit. There we go. I've got a microphone here so you can all hear me really well. um, and the priestess, she she's the one that channels the goddess, and she does the rites, rituals, ceremony. She holds space for others to come into their power. She is the one that is like a conduit for the goddess and allows that energy to come through and then activates the people around her. And so she's a leader within her own right. And she's the channel for the goddess, the mouthpiece of the goddess. The goddess speaks to her, and then she carries out the ceremony, the ritual, the holding space, and I call it priestessing her clients instead of coaching her clients or, you know, um, mentoring. It's priestessing because she's activating all those parts of herself, and she's this beacon of light and this channel for the sacred divine feminine that's coming through, the goddess energy coming through, and then holding the space for whoever she's priestessing or a group that she's holding space for and priestessing. And just like the classic priest, where someone goes and they tell the priest all their sins and da 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 da, right? It's the same thing. Like, as my work as a priestess, I have my soul clients going bada, 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 and da 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 da, and getting all the like dark stuff off their chest, like, what do they call it when you go and you talk to the priest and you tell them all your sins? What is it called?
Confession.
Huh?
Confession.
Confession. Yeah. So we get the confessions, right? Of someone telling us their deepest, darkest secrets that they feel all the shame and heaviness about. And they just like bring it to the priestess, and the priestess goes and they can hold it with unconditional love. And they
Non
hold it. Did you want to add to that?
non-judgment.
Yeah.
There's no judgment.
Yeah. The priestess knows how to hold whatever needs to come through with so much love and so much compassion and so much empathy. And she can hold it, and then she can reflect back the love, the understanding, the compassion, and allow the light to come through and allow the heaviness to be transmuted by, being kind of an alchemist, really, isn't it? Like a energy alchemist.
It's
Yeah.
transforming that energy, from the shadow energy into the light.
Yeah. Yeah. And in such a beautiful way, um, Malinda Starr does that. And such a beautiful way, the archetype of the priestess knows how to priestess. And so it's not just ritual and ceremony, but being able to hold the space with that unconditional love, and to be able to alchemize the energy, the energetics. So oftentimes a priestess is an energy healer. And then I want to talk about the oracle, because then the oracle comes through. The oracle is similar to the priestess in that they are a direct channel of dispensing wisdom and knowledge and clarity, and sometimes even premonitions. An oracle will have premonition dreams, they will have premonitions, they will have voices that speak to them, you channel through them, messages come through. Sometimes they are an actual messenger. I've had that experience. It's not always very pleasant and not something that I ever asked for. In the way that you didn't ask for the priestess, I didn't ask for the oracle. It just like happened to me. And, I've gotten messages that I have to then deliver. And it's not always easy to be a messenger, because sometimes people don't want to hear certain things, but they need to hear certain things. And so an oracle is a direct messenger for the goddess and for guiding sometimes a pathway where a pathway could go really badly. And so they help navigate people almost like a lighthouse. Last night, or no, it wasn't last night, it was 4 o'clock this morning. I got woken up by the goddess, and the goddess is like, you have to go and meditate. I'm like, oh, it's 4 a.m, but okay. Sometimes this happens. So I go, and oh my goddess, I had a beautiful meditation. There was so much was happening in the sky. It was so magical. And so my meditation room is looking out over the ocean and the stars, and there were so many stars, And there was an actual pathway of stars that went all the way up into a line, like they were pointing up. And then there was a falling star. Like it was just all happening this morning. It was so amazing. So I'm sitting there and there are
Celestial cosmic meditation.
it was so cosmic. And then there's three lighthouses that are across from me and they're flashing, you know. And that's how I see the oracle is there they help the boats navigate through the darkness. And the oracle, sometimes people fall into darkness, and the oracle acts as that beacon. And so does the priestess, by the way. And I just want to say that there's definitely an overlap because quite often a priestess is an oracle and an oracle is a priestess, and they're all channeling the goddess. So this is the connection that I wanted to speak into and talk about. Now, sometimes a priestess is not an oracle, and sometimes an oracle is not a priestess. Now, for me, I am a priestess and I am an oracle. And Malinda Starr, she is both as well. She is a priestess and she's an oracle. So, you know, this is why I knew that she was so perfect for doing the Awaken the Priestess within, because she really truly walks that path and she has that energy, the sacred divine feminine flowing through her. And she's so much like me, but also her own being. And she's also a quantum healer. And, you know, we're both energy workers. And I think it was, you know, I just wanted to come on and speak into the differences of the priestess and the oracle. The oracle sometimes doesn't want to lead ritual and ceremony, and they're more kind of, you know, giving direct guidance through their either, you know, oracle readings or giving wisdom to certain people. I mean, the oracle, the oracle and the priestess are both very ancient words. They've been around for a very, very long time. It's just that the patriarchal world and patriarchal energies kind of pushed these archetypes into shadow. And so now we are reclaiming them and bringing them into the light. It's still very scary to be seen and to be heard as a priestess, as an oracle, because, you know, it wasn't that long ago during the witch burning times that you were killed for it, or you were ostracized or shunned. And now we just get made fun of and not taken seriously, right? Did you want to speak into this a little bit?
No, you know, now you just are cuckoo, you know. Of course, you know, my daughter, my grandchild, they all think I'm cuckoo. So, you know, now you just get made fun of and you're just cuckoo. I'm
Yeah,
okay
but
to
I
it.
want to just say that comes from a very real place, though, Malinda, because that's exactly what happened not that long ago. You know, a little over 100 years ago. Don't quote me on the exact dates because I can't remember all the specifics, but like you were either locked up and you were crazy, like seriously locked up and you were crazy, or you were shunned and ostracized, or you were killed. So, you know, we've come
We're
a
not
long we've come a long way, but we have a long way to go.
So there's that fear that still lives and is deeply in a lot of the women.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's taken me a long time to want to be, and I should, to be seen and to be heard and to step into being the priestess. And I'm so glad that you're bringing this to light because we're hearing about this all over. You know, awaken the goddess, awaken the priestess, awaken the oracle. And we're all waking up to these gifts that we have and that have been so dormant in so many of us. And, and you had this great experience at such a young age that has just carried you forward and stepping into who you are. For me and for others too, it's taken us a lot longer and to awaken. And so it's a beautiful journey. And I did not know that I had been preparing this, that I was a priestess my whole life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now it feels so good to really embrace this and fully understand what that means, because we're all hearing this now. So
Yeah.
thank you for, clarifying this for everyone.
Oh, you're welcome. I feel like I've been a priestess for many lifetimes, and I know I've been persecuted for it. It was so funny because I was talking to one of the beautiful goddesses that I lived with in the goddess palace just the other day. Her name's Piara. She lives in New Mexico. She's an incredible artist. And we were just having a chat, and I was telling her about the Awaken the Priestess within and how I was handing the torch to you and inviting her to the goddess retreat. And she goes, Schamet, you've always been a priestess. And I said, well, what do you mean? She goes, well, when you were at the goddess palace, you used to call yourself a priestess. I said, did I? And she goes, you've always been a priestess. You're funny. Because I was telling her that I really had my awakening in Glastonbury in 2004. I was living in London, and this goddess priestess, she was a high priestess, came up to me. Oh my God, she was amazing. Her name was Samaria. You would have loved her. I've lost track of her. I don't know where she is, but long black hair. She played guitar and sang, and like full on goddess priestess, high priestess. And she just came right up to me and she says, you are a priestess, and I'm going to initiate you and train you in the ways of the priestess. And I was like,
Wow.
okay, that sounds good. I'm up for it. And oh my goddess, she led me up in the dark, like complete pitch black. We had to walk up to this cemetery where there was a church. And then I had to go in. It was actually really scary, and go
Wow.
into this church, and there was nobody there. And the whole church illuminated, and Isis came, and Sekhmet, and Jesus and Mary Magdalene. And it was a full on activation. Like it was amazing. So that I was telling Piara that was my awakening of the priestess was in Glastonbury and with this high priestess. And she's like, oh, you're funny because you were a priestess before that. Don't you remember? I was like, oh yeah, I guess it's been many lifetimes. She just saw that I was. And I wanted to share that because that's what I saw in you. One priestess sees the priestess in someone else, and sometimes before they even know that it's there. And, you know, I want to speak into, doing a priestess training. You don't do a priestess training so you can become a priestess. You do a priestess training so that you can become a master and become masterful at priestessing. But you either are a priestess or you're not a priestess. I really feel that way. And so I wanted to speak into that as well. Like you either are an oracle or you're not an oracle. You are either are a priestess or you're not a priestess, because I really strongly believe we all have a soul path purpose. And so we have these archetypal energies that are inside of us, and then we awaken to it. So it's already there, but we awaken to it, and then we become aware of it, like you have, Malinda. And then you go, of course, I've been training for this my whole life. I go to Malinda's sanctuary, Desert Star, and she's got all the priestess outfits and the rattles and the drums and the like. I said, what do you mean you don't know if you're a priestess? Of course you are. And she's like, I think I've always been. I was like, yeah. And so this is like the path. So if you're awakening to this energy inside of you and you're going, wow, I feel like I'm a priestess, then you are. And then, right? Like when I went to the healing arts school as a young person, I trained to be a massage therapist. Did I train to become a massage therapist? No, I already was. I already had it. I was already a healer, but I went to school to get good at it. And then I became masterful at it. Right. And then I had the education, and then I started working on people, and then I became better and better and better with every massage. And so it's the same thing. Like, it's like the artist too, right? They're an artist. It's in us. It's a gift.
Yes. It's, all of our gifts and everything is in us. And sometimes we think we have to have all these classes, we have to have initiations, we have to have all this stuff when it's all in us already. You just have to, it just has to be woken up.
Yeah, but I will speak into classes are good. Training is great. Like,
Absolutely.
I have to
Yes.
say, I've known massage therapists that don't get the training, and they don't have a leg up. The training does give you a leg up. It does give you structure, it gives you tools, it gives you discipline, and it helps you become masterful. So it's both.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
having that awakening, and then it's developing it. And that's what the priestess training
yeah.
does.
And I think that's a good way to segment it. It's the awakening and then the development of something.
Yeah. Yeah. When it
Mhm.
comes to the
Oh,
oracle training, I did lots of clairvoyant trainings. I've done several, and each one helped me become more and more masterful at becoming an oracle. And I'm already an oracle. It's not like it turned me into one, but it definitely gave me tools and structure and technique.
calm,
And yeah.
calm.
Oh, what is your dog's name again?
Nico, he's
Oh,
part wolf and
Nico.
husky, so it's
He's
getting
beautiful.
hungry. He's
He's
like,
getting hungry. He's like, Mom, I want food.
"Ow."
Oh,
No.
well, we'll wrap up this conversation, but I just thought it would be a good one to come on here on the summit to just kind of share with you a little bit of a conversation about the goddess, the priestess, and the oracle. And this really kind of came up because one of my soul clients was like, "Well, what's the difference?" Between the goddess, the priestess, and the oracle. And I was like, oh, maybe I need to clarify that for people that don't know. And so I hope all of you have found this helpful. And the interesting thing is, someone else will have even a different perspective than I do, because these are roles that, just like art, when someone sees art, they go, oh, this is what it means. But someone else is going to have a different feeling about what it means because of all of our different perceptions, our beliefs, where we grew up.
Diversity.
It's a rich, diverse tapestry. And this is why the conversation of the goddess is so interesting, because it's the same question. What does the goddess mean to you? And as you will see, there are so many different interpretations. So there's going to be different interpretations of what the priestess means and what the goddess means as well. But this is my perception and my perspective. And so I hope you've enjoyed the conversation. Do you have anything you want to add to the mix?
No, I think you have covered it absolutely.
Oh,
And
good.
such a beautiful way to, it really helps to get the different perspectives, and I'm sure that this has helped so many, because so many people probably have the same question because we're hearing this everywhere now. So thank you for clarifying this.
Oh, good. Yay. Yeah, when I first developed the Awaken the Goddess and Awaken the Priestess, it wasn't. And now it's just like people want to know. People are going through their awakening, their spiritual awakening. And
Right.
I'm so happy about it. That means that more and more people are awakening consciousness, they're evolving, they're coming into their hearts. And what used to be on the fringe is becoming more and more mainstream. And I think it's so good, because that means more and more people are wakening up to their heart. And ultimately, whatever you want to call it, God, goddess, priestess, oracle, the universe, whatever name you want to put on it, it is, we're all spiritually awakening to our soul path purpose and what we have come to say and be and do in this world, so that we can birth the new world, the new earth, the new paradigm. Like that has a lot of different words too, right? I call it awakening the new feminine paradigm, but it's like we need to
Yep.
awaken and
All,
realign.
we're all divine beings.
Mhm. And the divinity is awakening in each and every one of us. And we all have an important part to create in this beautiful tapestry of the spiritual awakening journey. So many blessings and so many goddess, priestess, oracle blessings on your beautiful and wonderful awakening journey. So much
Mhm.
love.
So much love.